My name is Anne Lokeder Natiom, and I am an upcoming producer. My role in the I Am From docuseries was basically a one-man show gig. I was the producer, the director, the editor, the scriptwriter. I did the interviews myself, and it was overwhelming and exciting at the same time because this was an opportunity for me to dive into the world of being a producer and seeing what really happens behind the scenes. Because prior to me going into producing, I worked as a news reporter and I was always in front of the camera. And so I didn't really have a deep understanding of some of the things that are required behind the scenes. And so when I was taking on this project, it was important for me to understand like the ins and outs of producing and giving an audience something they would, learn from and enjoy at the same time. The series I Am From is a series about understanding how international students create coping mechanisms to survive in new environments. And because I'm an international student myself and I have gone through the experience, I am aware that it's a challenging time for most people when you move from your own country and go to a new home. So this series highlighted some of the challenges that international students face, the coping mechanisms that they have developed, and also mentioned suggestions of how stakeholders who are involved in making the lives of international students better to come in and ease up that process for international students once they settle in the new countries. So the name I Am From, which is the name of the series, was inspired by an event that I attended when I was in my first year as an international student. This event brought back alumni from different parts of the world, and when I was having like one-on-one conversations of how they survived being international students, they were mentioning like important tips and gems of some of the things that they were doing that maybe most of us didn't know about. And I realized that a lot of people do not get the exposure of, learning some of the tips and tricks of survival as an international student, because I went back and like even checked on places like YouTube or Google or Instagram sometimes, where people usually post their lives as international students, and there were very minimal, videos or information about how to survive as an international student. And so saying I Am From, for me, reflected that, yes, of course, I am from this country, but this is how I am surviving, and I am using some of the things that kept me grounded or held my identity when I was in my own country to survive in this new environment. So that is how the name I Am From was inspired for the series. The target audience that I had in mind when I was producing this docuseries was, first of all, people who are currently international students. And then the second group of people is people who want to become international students in the future. But as I was continuing to, do the interviews and interact with more people about this topic, I realized that this is like a general audience kind of docuseries where even though you don't want to become an international student or you're not an international student, you can learn a few things that might help you survive even within your own home country. And so I thought about even stakeholders, policymakers within schools, within the government, both in our home countries and in the countries that you move to as an international student, how they can learn some of the things that were being mentioned, especially when it comes to challenges. And so my target audience grew from these two groups of people to a general audience, because I wanted everyone to be exposed to this kind of lifestyle and see that it is possible. Like, you can leave home, because a lot of people have fear of, not being able to survive outside of their home countries. And so seeing these examples, creates a sense of security and the evidence of possibility for people who aspire to become international students in the future. Now, I wanted to add that this is not a reflection of how all international students across the globe, live their lives. This is just a small sample. It's like a drop in the ocean, because I am aware that, circumstances are different in every single country that you visit. So this is not a reflection at all of how other international students live their lives. One of the highlights, honestly, when I was shooting this docuseries was I lost a lot of weight just from carrying the equipment. Like I said, it was a one-man show, and so I didn't have like a means of transportation at the moment. I didn't own a car or anything of that sort, and so I had to carry around the camera, the tripod, lights, from one building to another. Some of the people that I was interviewing lived, very far away from campus, and sometimes I had to walk, especially on the weekends when like public transportation is not available. And the highlight there, honestly, is at the end, I sort of lost the weight and it was a testimony to how hard I was working, honestly. Another highlight was, for me, getting to hear these stories for the first time and realizing that, everyone has a story to tell. And giving people platforms is one of, my purposes in life, because I believe there's not such thing as, giving a voice to the voiceless. No one is voiceless. Everyone has a voice. They just need the platform to communicate. That was one of the highlights for me, just listening to the stories for the first time and understanding that people have, done a lot of things that are beyond my own small bubble or beyond my own world where I came from myself. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. A challenge that I faced, honestly, is getting international students to be on camera. I mean, I have worked as a journalist before, and even for us who are always in front of a camera, once you see a camera, for most people, they get nervous, they get anxious, they lose their train of thought. So it took a lot of convincing and a lot of conversations off camera to try and educate them that this is important, not just for me, who is the producer, but even for them who are sharing their stories with the world. So that was a big challenge for me. Another challenge, honestly, for me was coming up or choosing the specific areas that I wanted to cover, because international students go through a lot of challenges, and this docuseries only has 5 episodes. That means I only highlighted 5 areas where international students face challenges. So I had a long list of things that bother international students or challenges that they go through, and the selection process for me was a little bit challenging, especially in the beginning. But once I narrowed down to the 5, it was good to go. Yeah. I'm hoping the people that will be watching this series, I hope that they walk away understanding that their stories are important. You might think that you are, a small person in this big world or in this big campus if you are an international student and you don't have, much to contribute to the society. But I want people to understand that everyone's story is important. And if there's an opportunity to share your story with the world, take it, because you never know how it's going to change either your small community around you or even the world in general. So I want people to enjoy, to laugh, to cry, and to have hope that anything is possible. You can move from your hometown, your home country, and settle somewhere else and still be comfortable. Yeah. At the moment, I'm currently in the idea stages of my next project. I will not give too much on camera, but I'm excited because the experience that I got from producing this limited series will definitely guide me in my next project. And I hope that I will continue to, tell stories of, people who society might think do not really have a voice, but they have so much to share. And I hope to continue that even in my next or future projects. So you can find the I Am From series on all social media platforms. The full episodes will be uploaded on my YouTube channel, and I will be posting short reels or clips on my Instagram. So go ahead and follow me on Instagram as well. And also, if you are on TikTok, you can also follow me on there, where some of the highlights of the different episodes will be posted. Yeah.